Welcome back to Rocket Talk. This is episode 58, and I am your host, Johnny. And as always, I'm here with Luke.
Hello again, Johnny. It's been a while.
It has been a while, and unfortunately, in the time that we've been gone, we had to fire Connor once again.
Yep, he was just like, "Oh, I want to spend Memorial Day out of town." What?
What a loser! And we don't deal with that here on Rocket Talk. So even though last time he might have claimed that we were fired, well, we are turning around and we are firing him. So I hope he has a good time though, wherever he's at. But it's just going to be the two of us this time.
Yes, but like I mentioned, it's been a while, Johnny. I want to say it's been about a month, almost a month and a half since we've last recorded. So it's nice to hear your voice again through the airwaves.
I know. I missed my voice as well.
Yes.
No, it's been a while, and I'm glad that we are back. I've missed talking to you, both of you, but just getting you today. But yeah, it's been a while, and the reason for that, for anybody that was wondering, it's just scheduling issues. It took a while for us to get. We were pretty proud of ourselves for making it 57 episodes with, I think, only one time we didn't have one scheduled. Once or twice we went a week without recording, but other than that, it's been pretty consistent. And so we deserved a month off, a month or a month and a half or so off, and we are back just in time for E3, just a few weeks away. So in a few weeks, you'll definitely be hearing coverage of that from us. But and also, I want to thank Corey for last time on episode 57. She was on with Connor, and they were talking about some of stories from her life in college. So thank you, Corey, for coming on.
That was a really good episode. I want to thank again. I felt bad that our kind of unplanned break happened right after she gave us a good episode. So definitely was not stopping the podcast because of Corey's episode, but that was a really good one, really informative, man. Because I knew a little bit about some of the drama that had happened, but I didn't know about the full drama that happened with Discount Jack Black.
Yes.
And that was rough, man. My heart definitely goes out to Corey for having to deal with that, and that was rough. But
yeah, Corey, we love you. We are happy to have you on. And even though Luke, I don't think anybody was suspecting that it was Corey's fault for why we stopped, but Luke put that out there into the world, and so now Corey, I hope that haunts you, that you were the reason why we stopped.
Yes. Before we jump into things, though, Johnny, are you sipping on anything today?
You know what? I am. I am a pretty basic bitch, and I've been going to Starbucks a lot lately. A lot for me, which is like once a week. But I was, I didn't want to overdo my favorite flavor of peppermint mocha because that's what I love to drink over Christmas time. So lately, I've been getting caramel macchiato at Starbucks.
I do like that.
Of course, but yeah, caramel macchiato hot from Starbucks is what I'm drinking today.
I do like that. I've been getting some of their teas more recently. There is a honey citrus one, so it has their I think it's like their peach tranquility herbal tea, a honey mint, like a mint green tea, and then it has some honey and it has some steeped lemonade as well. So it's a really very flavorful drink. Actually, hey, speaking of lemonade, I am drinking a beer that's called Lemonade. It is from Wild Leap Craft Beer. They are from LaGrange, Georgia, which is just outside of Atlanta. It's a sour with Meyer lemon, vanilla bean, and milk sugar. So it's very much like almost like a hard lemonade with like a hint of beer. So it's not very beery. So you actually might enjoy this one, Johnny, since I know you're not much of a beer drinker yourself.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that does sound good. The absence of the taste of beer sounds delicious to me.
Yeah, it's a very good one. I think I mentioned before on the podcast, I am a big fan of a lot of sour style beers. That's one of mine, a drink of choice. When people ask, it's like, I do like IPAs as well, but for beer and seltzer and all that, it's like, if it's a drink that you could see yourself having on a hot summer day at the pool, that's usually my favorite. I don't care if it's middle of winter. Give me a nice.
You will be out by the pool with your beer.
Exactly.
Well, so moving on, why don't you tell me, Luke, what is it that you've been up to in the past month or so that we've been that we were canceled and offline?
It's funny. So I when I went and edited the notes to get it ready for this one and deleted what we were originally going to do in 58, I mentioned how I had the 5G microchip because in the time between our break, I have gotten both doses of the COVID vaccine. So hooray for me. So dealing with the side effects of that twice, the second time especially was pretty rough. Felt like I had a rough headache there. But besides that,
which one did you get?
I got the Pfizer. I'm Pfizer gang.
Really? Okay, I got Pfizer as well, and I felt no side effects either time.
Gang. The first time, I just had a mild headache, a little bit of chills, nothing too crazy. But the second time, it was a lot more of... I got some chills at night that I was going to bed, and then I had a super bad headache that entire day after my second dose. I would stand up and walk somewhere, and it felt like there was a clamp on all around my head just pushing down. It sucked. I drank probably 3 bottles of Pedialyte that day, and it still didn't help. But
wow.
Oh well. Besides that,
better now, though.
What was that?
Better now, though.
Yeah, yes, and I am fully vaxxed, so now I can walk around Walmart without a mask.
Yeah, see, I'm still nervous because
I still wear a mask.
What?
I still wear a mask, but I can not wear one to Walmart now.
Yeah, see, that's where I'm at. Is I'm also actually, I'm like 4 or 5 days shy of 2 weeks after my second dose. And just so anybody knows who doesn't know, is you are not technically fully vaxxed until 2 weeks after your second dose, not just the second dose. So I have to wait a few more days until I am technically considered fully vaxxed. But even at that point, I'm still going to be wearing a mask because children cannot get vaccinated yet. And I am not wanting to spread that to children.
Yeah,
so.
I don't blame you. It's sure it would be nice to go everywhere without a mask. Yeah,
definitely. I hate wearing a mask, but I'm definitely gonna do it because we should.
Exactly.
But it is nice though that you can go, like I'm assuming Abby is also vaxxed.
Yes.
And so it's good that you guys can go out like to a park and you can not wear a mask there. Of course it's different than like Walmart or Target or whatever, but like it's really nice to be able to go outside in like the open air and not wear a mask there.
Yeah, it's nice. Besides that though, I think I'd mentioned it before a few times too. Abby and I started right around Valentine's Day when I actually had the COVID. We started the MCU movies. We did a watch through. We started with Iron Man, and then we went in release order up to Endgame. So we slightly tweaked it at the end because we watched Ant-Man 2 and Captain Marvel before we did Infinity War. So you could do Infinity War and Endgame back to back. So we did that a couple weeks ago. We watched both movies on a Sunday. We started Infinity War at about lunchtime, and then we did Endgame right after. So that was a ton of fun to do that, and then just to rewatch all those again, because that's the first time that I had seen Iron Man 2 in probably 12 years, or 11 or 12 years. That was the first time I had seen some of those early MCU movies since I did that first watch through with you, Johnny, before Age of Ultron. That's the first time I'd seen. Yeah, so I had rewatched like Winter Soldier, and I had rewatched Black Panther and Guardians a few times. But yeah, that was the first time I had seen some of those movies in a while, and it was fun to notice all the random little characters that showed up. Like there were some of the different S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra agents that were showing up in Iron Man 2 and Thor that I didn't remember that were in there, that then were later on in Winter Soldier, and that made cameos in Endgame. So it was fun to see some of them again, and just to get the whole story again, because that's the first time that Abby had seen a lot of those movies. She had seen all the Captain Americas, the Avengers, and then some different ones here and there, a lot more of the recent ones, but she hadn't seen any of the Thors, any of the Iron Man movies. So then it definitely made Iron Man Sacrifice at the end even more impactful for her than when she would have saw it in theaters, just because she knew his whole growth from the kind of the asshole playboy to the guy who saved the universe from destruction. So that was a ton of fun to get through it. So now we got to watch the second Spider-Man movie, and then I can finally show her WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so I can rewatch those shows as well.
And then Black Widow in a few weeks.
Yep, Black Widow and Loki both are about to come out.
Yeah.
And then we got a few more MCU movies as well coming, as we're finally getting teaser trailers for movies that are only a few months away that Marvel's finally releasing, with Eternals and the Ten Rings. I forgot the full name, but it is a fun time. I'm watching all these movies, and then after how good the shows are, I'm rejuvenated for the MCU again, because I needed a break, I think, after Endgame, and it was long enough that I was able to get back into it. And then, of course, just been playing a lot of video games, still working on my Call of Duty grind, playing some Mario Party with Abby and her sister, but mainly just been hanging out, enjoying the good weather down here in Atlanta. What about you, Johnny? What have you done?
Well, I moved into a new place, and for the first time in 2 years, I have an apartment that is more than just a studio. I cannot tell you how much excitement this is for me. It is so nice. Like, I'm finally looking at my home as a place that I get to make my own. Because for 2 years, it was nothing more to me than like a place I slept. Because I didn't have the room to decorate. I didn't have the room to even have like almost the bare minimum. Like I have a bed, and I didn't have a dining table, but now I have room for that. I didn't have a couch, but now I have room for two. I'm so happy to finally upgrade into a 2-bedroom, and oh god, it's just I can't talk about it enough how much of a life saver, life change that this is. I'm so over the moon about it.
I bet. Yeah, that is nice. So congrats on the move. What about some of the big nerd content you have consumed over the past month? Anything in particular that really stands out outside of the usual things that we had been talking about before our little break?
Well, I rewatched the first 4 out of 5 seasons of Yu-Gi-Oh! There was something, I don't know why, I don't remember what got me into it, but there was something about it. I was just like, I gotta jump back into this because it was such a big part of my childhood. And so I rewatched almost all of the anime there, and I'll probably finish it in the next month or so. As far as video games go, I haven't actually, because of my move, and I only just got internet a few days ago. I haven't been able to play much video games because I guess I could have played offline, but there were some ones that I just wanted to either download or play online. And one that I haven't gotten to play yet, but I'm going to play either tonight or tomorrow or Monday because it's a holiday for us, or for everyone, there's the Famicom Detective Club. Two detective video games that came out about 2 weeks ago or so. I haven't played yet. I'm going to play them in a few days. I am so excited for it. I don't usually play detective games like this, but it's such a... I don't know what it was about it. It was just maybe this art style or just the concept or the fact that we had a Nintendo drought this past year. Maybe all three, but I'm so excited for it. Yeah, that's one thing that I'm going to be doing. Another is... I briefly... Before my move, I briefly was playing Dead by Daylight.
I got to play that with you, because it's cross-platform. That is a ton of fun to play.
Oh yeah, I suck at it. I am the worst player.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad too.
But I much prefer being a survivor than the killer. I just think it's more fun to do that. I'm not all about hunting people down, but I do love the even though I get so anxious, like that game, oh, I love to play at night. Like I'm not going to play something like that when it's daylight out, but like I'm playing at 10 or 11 at night and I'm just like I hear the footsteps coming of like the person coming to get me and I'm like, "Oh god, oh god, oh god." So thrilling. I don't get that feeling very often in video games, but that one definitely gives it to me. So that's something I'm definitely going to be playing more of, and I might even want to stream that or some other horror themed games come Halloween time this year.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of streaming, you'll be able to do a little bit more too now. You get your internet set up because I don't think the listeners know that you also have now acquired a PS4.
I have, yes. My dad had a PS4. He also had a PS3, and I don't know why. He played some games on the PS3, but as far as I know, he knew. I remember back when he had a PS3, he didn't play it, and then I found out not too long ago that he has a PS4, and he's like, I don't play it, so I'm just gonna give it to you. I wonder why he even got it in the first place if he already knew he doesn't play much. But either way, he got one years ago, and he's given it to me. And I am very appreciative. So, Dad, I know he actually, my dad was asking me why we stopped posting, and so I said, "Don't worry, we're going to be posting again soon." So he will be listening to this. So,
hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad. Thanks for the PS4. He forgot to send the power cable for it, so it's a few days away in the mail. But once he sends that power cable in a few days, I will be able to play and stream some of the new games that he's got, or some of the new games that I'm going to be getting. Like my first game I already know that I'm getting for PS4 is Spider-Man, with Luke's recommendation.
Oh, it's so good.
So I know I'm going to suck at it, so I'll probably be streaming that sometime soon. We'll post it to YouTube, we'll post it to Twitch, and wherever you normally post, Luke. Yeah, I'm gonna be shittily playing Spider-Man on the PS4 coming up.
Luckily, it's not that difficult if you just play on one of the easier modes, and it's pretty easy to get the hang of. Honestly, the biggest tip I'll give you right away is, so there's like a suit power up you get. Like each special suit will have their own like unique power that you unlock with it. One of the first ones, you like jump up in the air, spin around, and shoot a bunch of webs. For almost every situation, that power, that special ability is almost always the best to use, especially for like crowds of people. So even if you're running a different suit, I would run that ability almost always. That was my favorite, but yeah, it's a ton of fun. Easily one of the best games I played on the PS4 era, and just in general. Great story. So I'm excited for you to play that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, if that is everything, we can move on to the topic of the week.
Yes.
So, for anybody who didn't know, this week on May 27th, we had a Sonic the Hedgehog 30th anniversary stream called Sonic Central. I believe this is the first Sonic Central, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so it is the first Nintendo Direct style presentation dedicated to the 30th anniversary of Sonic. And you wanted to make note that back when Nintendo did a Direct, there was a lot of people that thought it was really stupid, and then now, I mean, looking at it, it's become a major part of the industry, a staple of the industry, to have Directs like this. They do the Sonic Central is very similar to the, what is it, PlayStation
State of Play is what PlayStation's is. Yep. I can't remember what Microsoft calls theirs. There's like the Direct for Pokemon, but they call it something different too. It's become a big thing. I think it was more everyone's surprise that Nintendo didn't have a live press conference at first, but yeah, now it's like it's such an easy way because you can do 3 or 4 a year, and then one big one around E3, and bam, like it can give fans an update of what's going on, and it's they can control what all they're putting out there. It's a nice way to build up hype because. When they hey, Nintendo Direct is tomorrow, then people then Twitter gets all excited, and all these YouTubers like Game Explained and all of them will have their prediction videos. So it's always fun to see that. Yeah, this was I think it's a smart move by Sega to start this off with the stream. You know, Sonic doesn't need to have one, you know, multiple times, you know, once every couple months, but I think it's a good thing for them to do as a thing moving forward for the future, just because of how like big the series is.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, it's, you know, I look back at I was one of those people that that was bummed that they were changing their method of not having like a live show and just being more of a pre-recorded, pre-edited direct. But it only took one direct for me to love what they were doing. And it's no surprise to me that so many other companies, now Sega jumping on board too, so many companies are doing this direct style presentation because, in my opinion, you know, I do understand the hype of getting to see you know, big presentations in person, and the creators and the directors coming out, and sometimes the voice actors of characters will come out and talk about the game. But there's something special about something cleaner, I guess I can say. Something cleaner and more organized of just having an edited video of everything that they want out to the player. And I really love that. And I definitely don't want to see the end of these live presentations, but I'm not surprised at all that they are becoming lesser and lesser as time goes on.
Well, I mean, the other one too, it's so much easier for, because like as fun as a live presentation is, there's so many hurdles and like bugs that you have to worry about. Like there, all the times that, oh, I'm gonna have a live demonstration and then the game crashes, or you know, they have to have it super scripted so that way things don't go wrong. Like there was one when the initial iPhone got announced. If you go and rewatch that video, Steve Jobs, you see he's flipping through a pamphlet because it's telling him what steps he has to go through because it's the best method of this test build. Okay, here, open up this app first and then that app, because if you open it in the other order, it'll crash the device. And so like when you do a pre-recorded event, you don't have to worry about that. You can have, you know, there could be some gameplay footage that's been done for a few weeks that is just waiting for the rest of the footage in the voiceover. So like, yeah, it's so much smarter. Like, you know, it's there's something special about that the live reactions especially, but you can still get a fun live reaction of someone watching a stream as well, even if you don't have a big crowd like you would at like an E3 or stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me from this entire Sonic Central, what is the announcement that stood out most to you, and why?
So it's hard because like the big, like I'd say probably the three like game announcements we got were not surprising at all, because Sonic Colors leaked months ago, a compilation leaked relatively before the game, and we knew there was like a new game coming. I would probably say the Sonic Origins compilation, just because of like the big thing about Sonic 3 and Knuckles coming back. You know, we can talk more about it a little bit later in the podcast, but for those who haven't been aware, Sonic 3 and Knuckles hasn't been re-released in these compilations from Sega, whether it's a Sonic only or a big compilation, since 2009, 2010, somewhere around there, just because there was issues with the music since Michael Jackson was involved and with his production team, and just because of that, there's been a bunch of legal battles that have gone through with this, and so Sega hasn't been able to re-release the game in a number of years. I want to say the last time that it was either the DS collection that came out in 2010, or right around that same time the game came out on Steam on PC. But it has been a long time since it came out because of the licensing with the soundtrack. So just finally being able to see that game get the love it deserves, because it's such a good one, and in my opinion, I think that it's better than Sonic 2. Getting the classic games, arguably the best back is super nice. And the other nice thing is it looks like these are going to be the Christian Whitehead versions of Sonic 1 and 2 and CD, which were released on mobile, and then Sonic CD also got a console release. But that's the guy who was behind Sonic Mania, and those were the definitive ways to play Sonic 1 and 2 with the widescreen support and the spin dash in Sonic 1, Knuckles being able to be playing all that. But that was limited to mobile devices, iPhones and iPads and Android phones. So getting the superior versions of that will be super nice as well. I think just more the fact that we got this collection that, we should have got a while ago, that's finally coming back, was the one that stood out to me the most. What about you?
Yeah, for me, it's definitely the Sonic Colors Ultimate game, and we'll be going into that shortly. But yeah, there was something about that even though it did get leaked, it's still what gets me most hyped up, because it is the only thing that really it's the only thing for me that got me excited, just because I'm not a big 2D Sonic fan. I do prefer the 3D games, Adventures, Heroes, and any of the Boost games. Those are all what I prefer. So yeah, and this was, in my opinion, Sonic Colors is one of, if not the best, I may not say it is the best, but it's definitely up there and probably top 3 favorite Sonic game soundtracks. Like the Sonic Color soundtrack is just, oh my god,
there's so many. It's so varied too, because it's not as crazy varied like what you have in the previous mainline titles with 06 and with Unleashed, especially with Unleashed going for the different aesthetics from like the locations they're inspired by. But yeah, it's a nice varied soundtrack. You have some nice piano rock with Planet Wisp. You have some heavier guitars with the Asteroid Coaster. Like there's such a good variety of music. I would agree though. That soundtrack is so killer. Aquarium Park or Aquatic Park, I can't remember the
Aquarium Park is, oh my god.
It's so one of my that's one of my favorite.
The Stars.
Yeah.
Is a good main theme. Like it's so good. But I don't, looking back, I don't even remember if I beat Sonic Colors on Wii. I remember playing it around the time that back when my brother and I were beating all of the Sonic games. There was one time when we spent like a whole year 100%ing everything, and Sonic Colors was the last game that came out up to that point, and so yeah, I remember I think I did that one on my own, just because I think he was Sonic'd out, and so I was like, okay, well, I'll do this one then, and then we'll call it good. But yeah, I am looking forward to playing it again, because I believe it's been a decade since it's been out, and so I think it's been roughly a decade since I've played it, which is crazy to say, but yeah, I think that's what I'm most excited about. As for the Origins, Sonic Origins, I'll go into this more once we get to that part, but I recognize that it's not for me, but I also recognize that this is a big deal for a lot of people. And even though I'm not excited about Sonic Origins, I am excited for the fans who want that, because having 4 different games, 4 different classic Sonic games in one collection is it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So I am happy for you, and for you, Luke, and for all the other people who are going to get Sonic Origins. It is coming out next year, so that does give me a little bit more time to be hyped, and maybe I'll change my mind and I will get it after all. But if it's 2D Sonic, I'd prefer a Mania 2. But I'm not picky when it comes to Sonic. I'll take really anything. So yeah, I'm pretty satisfied overall. I think it's definitely good for Sonic fans. But what would you say, Luke, is the least impressive part of this direct?
I would probably say the teaser we got for Sonic 2022. We'll just call it right. Which according to leaks suggests is to be called Sonic Rangers. Not as much because I don't like the few seconds we saw. It looks beautiful. Like it's super, super nice textured and like realistic looking grass and trees and all that. Like that looks nice, but like with the Sonic Forces teaser that was similar, where it was just a quick thing. Like that one, you at least had a rough idea of the game, because what it was the one of the big Eggman mech robots was destroying a city, and you saw Sonic going after it, and then you saw classic Sonic help out. So you knew, okay, looks like it's going to be more of a darker themed game where maybe Eggman's taking over part of the world, and classic Sonic's here. Okay, well, why is he here? But like, okay, classic Sonic's here. Cool. So like you knew roughly, like when it was still known, as Project Sonic 2017, you still had a rough idea of what to expect. Where this one, I have no idea what to expect, and so like with some of the leaks that are coming out, it can show a little more. But in terms of official what Sega gave us, it's cool. Like you saw Sonic run and do this cool boost thing, but like I want to know more. And since we're not finding out more about this game probably for a while, since it's supposed to come out next year, and judging by Sonic releases, I would guess that this is going to be a fall 2022, not a early 2022 or mid 20. Like we're going to get this probably in September, October, maybe even November of next year. So we're still a year and a half away from it. So I think they could have showed slightly more. Like I get that it's still probably relatively early in development, but like I wish we would have got a little more. Same with the Sonic Prime cartoon on Netflix. That they were just like, hey, we're making it. We're gonna do new things. You haven't seen the series. It's like, okay, like what? Can you show me you show me some concept art besides that Eggman logo? But
yeah, I have to agree. First with Sonic Prime, it was a bummer that we already knew that Sonic Prime was coming out as a Netflix show, and if I'm correct, the only new information that they did say was that it's going to be more character focused, and then it's going to be, Sonic's going to go through a journey. And I'm not sure if it was just flowery wording for, when they said that Sonic is going to have a lot of growth and a lot of character, development. I don't remember how they worded it exactly. I wasn't sure if it's just flowery wording in a way to say, kind of like how Mario gets development through a game, which is not at all. Or if there's genuinely going to be some real character moments, because if it is true that this is going to be very character heavy, I would have loved to see just a little bit more, because we don't know anything, and that's fine, but the announcement already came out, and so for them to remind us that it's coming out without providing any new information is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, the only real information they gave us was how many episodes it'll be. It'll be 24 episodes, and then I don't remember when it was announced, if they told us roughly when, but they said it should come out some point next year. I don't remember if they said that on the initial announcement or if they just said coming soon. So, but I think that the biggest thing they said, it's going to focus on the characters, and there's 24 episodes. It's like, okay, maybe you want to give us just a little tease?
Yeah, like the art style, or they even teased the Sonic Colors little cartoon that they're making, which was cool. And I just would have liked some kind of something, like some kind of idea as to what the world is going to be like. Is this something where it's just Sonic and Tails? Is everybody in it? Is it only the main 5, 6, 7 characters? What are we talking about here? But as for Sonic 22, I'm it's kind of the same boat, except even less. Is that, like, we already got the Sonic Prime announcement, and so we didn't need much more from that. But as far as a video game goes, with Sonic 22, I'm torn, because I part of me wants to say, I don't expect more because that was the announcement, but I don't think you need to announce that a new Sonic game is being made, because we always know a new Sonic game is being made. It's like if Nintendo was decide to say, hey, just so you know, a Mario game, without specifics, a Mario game is in progress right now. It's like, yeah, we know that. We know that a Mario game, a Zelda game, Splatoon.
Yeah, there's exceptions to it. Like finding out, oh, there's a sequel to Breath of the Wild in development. Okay, or to Breath of the Wild in development. Okay, we're going to continue that story. Where like if this was supposed to be like Sonic Adventure 3, then teasing it in some sort of way that teases that hey, this could be an adventure game. That is a lot more hype than even same thing. They could have had some sort of extra thing on this that tease that it could be Adventure 3. With the same video of Sonic just running, like they could have had him use, they could have used some sort of sound effect or some sort of level from the adventure games, and then something like, oh wait, could this Adventure 3? But this, it's like, okay, he's running through some trees, like,
right,
cool.
Yeah, like exactly. So if they'd done that exact same teaser, but they said Sonic Adventure 3 is coming out next year, that is all that would need to be said. That at that point, speculation can come out and people have a lot to talk about. But this, we've gotten Sonic Unleashed, we've gotten Sonic Colors, we've gotten Sonic Forces, we've gotten Sonic, Generations. We've got so many different Sonic games that are standalone in title, as opposed to, Adventure 1 and Adventure 2, or Advance, the Advance games on Game Boy. But we've gotten so many standalone titles that each of those, before the titles came out, they were presumably called, Sonic 2012, Sonic 2010.
Yeah,
Sonic
well,
20,
like Forces was like the when they announced Sonic Mania and Sonic Forces, they announced Sonic Forces as Project Sonic 2017. So yeah, it's exactly. Like if stuff hasn't had their official names announced yet and it's been teased, it's Sonic 06 was Sonic Next Gen. Sonic Rush was Sonic DS before it got tweaked and became Sonic. Like, yeah, they've given some nice, easy placeholder titles, but even all those gave more info.
Yeah, so it's safe to assume that this one, whether its title is Sonic Rangers or something else completely, it's safe to assume that this is going to be brand new. And if it's brand new, we need to know what makes it brand new. If it's Adventure 3, then, we don't need to know much more because we've seen 1 and 2, we love them, we know what to expect, and that alone is hype. But for this, we need more than that. I think that it was kind of a letdown for me because, it's just, I do think it's going to be a great game. I do think that whatever it is, a year and a half from now, it's going to be fantastic. But I am not excited about it because we have a million other things between now and then.
Yeah, we can talk more about that too when we with it. But yeah, definitely, it's. I think, if they would have just given slightly more, then that might have been the thing that stood out as a whole to me. But oh well.
Definitely. But okay, moving on to deep dives into individual portions of this presentation. So first, let's go to Sonic Colors Ultimate discussion. What are your thoughts in general? You kind of told me a little bit, but tell me, what are your thoughts on Sonic Colors Ultimate?
I'm very excited for this one.
Follow up. Are you also excited for Sonic Colors Melee and Sonic Colors Brawl and Sonic Colors for Wii U and 3DS?
Of course. No, yeah, I'm very excited. So Colors was actually the first Sonic game I wholly beat by myself because the adventure titles and heroes, my brother had helped me beat them. So it'll be nice to have one that I beat by myself completely to play that again. And Colors is one of the best looking games on the original Wii. Like that's not really like a hot take. Like like if you talk to a lot of people who played the Wii, that have played a lot of the games, what are some of the best ones? This and the Galaxy games get brought up a ton because this was such a visually stunning game for a very underpowered system. So getting to see this take advantage of newer tech, even though it's coming out on PS4 and Xbox One, so it's not even coming out on the newest tech. Being able to take advantage of the newer tech of an HD console that can handle a lot more than the Wii has me very excited, especially because out of all the mainline games that have come out in that era, like 06 and Unleashed, Generations, Lost World, I think Colors was the best choice because unless as great as Unleashed is with the daytime stages and the Werehog stages are, Colors is just a stronger game as a whole. Like the whole package is good, where some of the other ones like 06 it's a broken mess, and Lost World is kind of mediocre, and Generations, while it's a ton of fun, it's better to have like a more fleshed out adventure of Colors than what was a Celebration title getting a port with Generations. So I'm very happy with their choice to do Colors over the other games of that era. You know, would I rather have seen maybe a remake of the adventure titles? Sure, but I'm happy with them picking Colors out of that like clump of games, because that is that and Generations are the best of that group.
Yeah, definitely, and I agree. I think that I mean, Colors is what you talked about. It looks the best, and why I emphasized how it sounds the best. One of the best sounding, one of the best soundtracks in the Sonic series. So I definitely think that this is a solid game to port. Remake really, because it's really it's an enhanced port. I am a little surprised looking back. I do think that Unleashed could have gotten a similar treatment, and it's hard for me to put into words, but I actually think that Unleashed has the same, if not better. It makes just as much sense to be brought forward. Maybe that's just because the other games around it had, you know, Sonic 06 was
bad.
Oof. Lost World was weird, and Generations, like you said, it was celebrating a milestone for the time, and so for Generations to come up, it just seems like it'd be kind of like, hey, remember when we did that big thing 10 years ago? But Colors and Unleashed, those both seem like they would be the best games to bring forward, and so I do think that maybe in the next few years we'll see Unleashed come to the Switch or the
I hope so.
Switch.
There's been such a push to get Unleashed, even just because what's weird is Lost World randomly got a PC port a couple years after it came out, and Generations came out on PC as well as consoles, but like 06, Unleashed, Colors, those all were, you know, stuck to their original hardware, to the PS3 and Xbox and the Wii, stuff like that. So like getting those, people have wanted those to come out because of taking advantage of the better hardware. Because we found out with the Xbox Series X, Unleashed finally like plays how it was meant to play in 2008 because of some of the issues with how advanced the lighting tech was in that game. On a couple levels, it would chug and slow down your frame rate on the PS3 and the Xbox 360. So now 2 console generations later, because of backwards compatibility, you have the Xbox Series X being the definitive way to play Unleashed, and a up-res port that can improve those already pretty textures, because, you know, Colors is the best looking game on the Wii. Arguably, Unleashed is the best looking Sonic game hands down still to this day, even though Forces is on more powerful hardware, and Generations, you know, took advantage of them having a couple more years of the system. Unleashed is insanely well detailed and has some beautiful textures and lighting, and so getting that would have been nice too. I hope we get it as well, but I wonder if, just because Unleashed still had kind of mixed reception because of the Werehog, if that's why they went with Colors over it, because Colors was one of their first games that they actually got like positive reception, like almost universally, for the first time in 6-7 years at that point, just because really everything, starting with Heroes, you kind of got more on the mixed side of things.
What do you mean? Heroes is the best Sonic game of all time.
Well, some would agree with you, some would disagree with you.
I love it. Even though it sounded like I was being sarcastic, I love, for anybody who's been listening for a while knows, I love Sonic Heroes. It is one of my, it's probably all nostalgia, I'll admit it, but Sonic Heroes is my childhood for sure. Yeah,
but because all these, but like, because Heroes, just because, especially with how bad the PS2 version performs, started with Heroes, you started to see a little bit more of some mixed reception. Like it was still getting like 7s and 8 out of 10s, but you were starting to get a few more 6 out of 10s and a C+ from OneUp.com. But then more than with Shadow, that's where you started to see more of the negative reception. That really
negative.
I know, hard to believe. But, outside of a couple titles here and there, the Sonic series really didn't have a strong showing in terms of critical reception until Colors. And so I think because Colors has the better reception of the two, like the Colors Metacritic score on the Wii is a 78, where the Unleashed one is a lot lower on it's a 60 on Xbox 360, a 54 on PS3, and a 66 on the PS2/Wii version, which is basically a different game. So it has almost 20 more points on its scale on color side. So I think that's why, because why they would have picked Colors over Unleashed, because that's the one that's a little more favorable.
Yeah, definitely. And then tell me, is there a particular zone in Sonic Colors that you're most excited to see take advantage of?
This is so hard because it's like there's like really three I can really think of. Either Planet Wisp, Aquarium Park, or Sweet Mountain. I'd probably say Planet Wisp, just because of how pretty the actual like planet is before you get to the industrial side of things. But also, so you have Starlight Carnival. Oh, that's hard. Like, I mean, like Tropical Resort will look nice, Asteroid Coaster look nice and all, but like that like the middle of the game, like Sweet Mountain, and all that, like all those like planets, I think just those clumped together just because they were so different too. Like I know we got it in Mario Odyssey as well, but the whole thing of like a little like junk food inspired like level trope is not something you see in every platformer. So having that in that game was a ton of fun. And even though we had some of the other more tired and true level tropes like the industrial, the space, the water, like they were all so well done. But yeah, I'll go Sweet Mountain just because of how unique that was at the time. And I mean, sure, yeah, there's a similar one in Odyssey, but how it still is kind of unique for a platformer. So I'll do Sweet Mountain. Is there any in particular that are standing out for you, or?
Well, as far as what I'm most excited about to see in the new visuals with the better hardware, I have to agree with you that Planet Wisp was the most beautiful world, and I can't wait to see what it looks like. And that with the Planet Wisp musical theme is so good. And it's one thing that I think the creators definitely knew going forward, because Planet Wisp has been a recurring area to visit in following games, with Sonic Generations, Team Sonic Racing, and I would imagine a few others.
It showed up in it's in one of the Dream events in one of the Mario and Sonic. I want to say Sochi Olympics is in there as well. But yeah, because it was that was Sonic Colors stage in Generations, and then there's the whole theme in Team Sonic Racing that are based on that as well.
Yeah, and then I will say that as far as most memorable goes for me, it's also Sweet Mountain, because even though I remember how much the music of Aquarium Park is, I could not tell you a single thing about what it looks like. But for some reason, Sweet Mountain is a level theme, like you said, that you don't get the candy or junk food aesthetic very much in these kind of platformer games. It does happen every once in a while, but some of the others like Tropical Resort, that's always the first theme is some kind of beach or grass level. And then you've got a carnival, you've got the industrial, you've got the water, you've got the theme park. All those are pretty common tropes for level themes. But the candy theme is something that really stuck out to me, and I really loved it. And I remember having a lot of fun with that in Sonic Colors. So that's one that definitely stuck out to me, and I'm excited to jump back into Sweet Mountain again, because I just love the you get to grind on, if I remember correctly, you get to grind on candy canes.
Yeah, it's something like that. Oh, yeah. Here's one other thing I just remembered that I hope that the Colors remaster has. I hope that there's a way either that Eggman's voiceover loudspeakers are louder, or there's a way that you can listen to those individually, because I don't know if you ever looked at some of those quotes that Eggman has said. Like, some of the funniest writing that has been in the series is in those, like that you just like run past and barely hear. But Here's one. It says, we know they look delicious, but please refrain from licking the rides. That would be disgusting. Do you know where those rides have been? People have been sitting on those rides with their butts. Okay, go ahead, lick them. Don't say we didn't warn you. And like, there's a lot of like little things like that. Like, there's a lot of funny little like one-liners that people just didn't realize were there because it's so quiet, and who knows how good of a sound system they're playing on. And if it's on a Wii, they're probably been on an old tube TV that had built-in speaker. Like, there's so many like the good parts of this game that people just missed out on because of just like the hardware limitations again. But
yeah, I'm sure that's got to be something that they'll work on, hopefully, at least. But okay, so next question is, both the physical and the digital editions are coming with content from the Sonic film that released over a year and a half ago. I guess not over a year and a half ago.
When the game comes out, it'll be a year and a half, though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, by that time. So, why do you think they did this?
This one I don't understand, because it's like the whole, like if they had this whole game idea planned out for a while that this was going to be a tie-in, this game would have came out like before COVID happened. So like, I wonder if they were just like, oh crap, we never actually had any official game have any movie tie-in. Like they had some tie-ins on some of the mobile games like Sonic Dash, and I think the Sonic Forces Speed Battle or whatever it's called. You can play as some of the movie characters, but we haven't had a official like console game have anything related to the movie. So I guess they're like, oh well, this is our first release, so let's just cram us in there. So like, cool, but yeah, it's so weird because it's gonna be, you're gonna get like some player icons, which that one, are they saying like your save icon, or can you like change your like life icon to be something different? Because there is screenshots that are coming around from a Japanese magazine that show Tails, but the model looks like it's still Sonic. So does that mean I can run around with a movie Sonic life counter or what? But yeah, they're gonna have like movie Sonic icons, and like there's some sort of cosmetic you'll be able to put on that Sonic will have like the blue aura around him, like the like Super Sonic in the movie has. So like, cool. Like it's totally unneeded, but like awesome. And then the other weird one is like they're doing this now, and by the time this game comes out, it's going to be closer to the sequel than it is to the original. But yeah, again, whatever, Sega and Sonic Team are an odd bunch. They do kind of their own thing. So hopefully it's nice. I doubt I'll be using much of the movie stuff, but it's still a nice touch, I guess. It's an extra thing for those who were wondering where their Sonic movie content was in the mainline games.
Yeah, I don't know too many people that were wondering that, but I guess for the few that were, now they've got their wishes fulfilled. Okay, so let's move on then to the Sonic Origins collection. So it's not coming out until next year. This is, for anybody that doesn't know, this is going to be Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and Sonic CD. Do you have any idea why they would be waiting a year?
I think it's the Sonic 3 and Knuckles is what's holding it back, because I doubt it is taking much issues to port the iPhone versions of 1 and 2 and to get the CD port that's already on PS3 and Xbox 360 up and running on the PS4 or maybe the PS5, because they said coming to modern hardware. They didn't really say what systems it's coming to. But I feel like it isn't hard to get those games up and running on current systems. So I wonder if the issue is they were waiting on this until they could get whatever legal thing they worked out with Michael Jackson's estate and Brad Buxer and the rest of the people involved with the soundtrack part of Michael Jackson's team, that they were waiting to do that before they like went super deep into development. So I wonder if they have to hold it back because they haven't finished 3 Knuckles. Because if you look at the trailer for it that they show, It looks like all of the footage from 1, 2, and CD is from the Christian Whitehead remakes that he had, where the Sonic 3 and Knuckles clips are in a 4.3 full screen instead of a widescreen, and like looks like they just went and put a capture card on a Genesis to get that. So I wonder if they just haven't finished the 3 and Knuckles yet, because people actually were asking about it too. Hey, why is this in 4.3 and the rest is in widescreen? But the Sonic social media manager clarified after the stream that 3 and Knuckles will also be in widescreen. But I think just because of all the issues that's come with the music, if that is why they've kind of had to hold it back, and they must have like just got the approval within the last couple months, and so now they're going to go into full steam development with whichever studio they have, whether it's Sonic Team or M2, which is like Sega's wizards at porting games to modern hardware, or if they're putting it out to a different development team, like maybe Whitehead and his studios leading it. But whatever it is, I wonder if just because of how 3 and Knuckles has caused so many issues for Sega for the past decade, if that is what's causing this delay.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I will admit that you're not the first person that I've heard talk about Christian Whitehead, and but until this Sonic Central video came out and the response from it, this is actually the first that I've heard of him.
So he's the one that did.
So explain to me and anybody listening who he is and why he's such
so
a big deal.
So he started as a big Sonic fan, and he was making fan games, and so he developed what I want to say it's called the Retro Engine. I can't remember what the name of the game engine he made is, but he basically was able to like replicate the physics down to a T basically from the Genesis Sonic games, and so he made a proof of concept of that with Sonic CD. Running on like an iPod Touch or an iPhone, and Sega was like, "Oh, hey, this is a good idea." So they worked with him, and so he helped make the 2011 re-release of Sonic CD, which is like by far the definitive way to play that game. Like as enjoyable as Sonic CD is, playing that on a Sega CD or the PC port or the Gems Collection ports are just rough because of some weird quirks that are in that game that he was able to iron out a little better, and so like he did that, and then it was so successful, Sega had him go do Sonic 1 and 2 only for mobile, so you can download it on your iPhone, and it's in widescreen, so it takes up the full screen when you have it in portrait in landscape mode. And it has the spin dash in Sonic 1. They added Hidden Palace Zone back into Sonic 2, and a bunch of other just little extras. So he did that, but Whitehead is also was the main man behind Mania as well. So he helped do Sonic Mania, which is arguably the best 2D Sonic game. So it'd be nice to have him return. I mean, not just have him return for Mania 2, but it'd be nice to have him return as someone who's helping with this, whether it's something that he's doing with whether it's something that he's doing in collaboration with Sonic Team, or something that him and his new development studio, Evening Star Studio, can do. It'd be nice to have him in charge of this.
Yeah, from what I've heard from you and from some other people online are saying that he is a big deal, and if this could be, I mean, everything that he's made has been great, and so it's really good, and so.
Well, I think what's good is
we don't know if he's involved in this, or do we?
No, we don't know yet. We don't know we don't know anything outside the fact that it's those 4 games. Okay. Because the other one is there's. Some of before he got involved, some of the Sonic ports we were seeing on different systems were rough. I mean, we can easily bring up the Sonic 1 Game Boy Advance port. That is just a disaster. Like it is one of the worst Sonic games of all time for that version. Like, it is entirely bad. So he showed, hey, like you can actually do this on, you can make the games work where it plays just like, if not better, than it did on original hardware. So he definitely is like one of the bigger fan guys that have been like fan developers. And then with what he's done with the actual series under official projects, I think that's why myself and many others included want him to whether spearhead it or at least be involved in consultation for this, so that way it can be the definitive ways to play these games on current hardware.
Okay, and so as for the collection coming out next year, what do you hope that the price is going to be, and what do you want it to be, and what do you think it's going to be?
I think and want it'll be about $20, because what I'm thinking is the Sonic CD sold for, I think it's $5 on the PS3 and the Xbox 360 and PC and all that, and so with 4 games, technically 5 games because 3 Knuckles are technically separate, but with 4/5 games, $5 a piece. Okay, yeah, $20 is pretty reasonable. There are releases of Sonic 1 and 2 on the Switch under the Sega Ages banner, where they have a couple extra little bonus features, and I want to say they go for like $6 or $7, $8 as well. So I think $20 is a reasonable price because you're getting games that only take a few hours to beat, that are close to, if not 30 years old. Like 2 of the games are going to be 30 years old by the time this collection comes out. So like they're older games. They're ones that have been re-released to hell outside of 3 Knuckles at this point. So like $20 I think is a reasonable price, and I think that's about what Sega will go with. I doubt it'll go above 20, maybe 25 at the most, but it's going to be Mania sold for $20, and so and that's with some new content. So I feel like this one is going to go for about that same price. 20 is just a good sweet spot.
Okay. Well, before we move on to the last big portion of this, is there anything else you wanted to say about this collection?
I mean, I'm excited to be able to play through 3 Knuckles on a system because I have it on my PC, but I try to play a fan like hack of it that makes it run closer to the iPhone version of Sonic 1 and 2. So it'll be nice to be able to play through a good version, an official good version of Sonic 3 again for the first time in a long time, just because that's one that I've over the last couple of years have really appreciated a lot more of the classics, because I feel like that was, if you ignore Mania for a sec, that was the one that really, I think, had the perfect mix of gameplay for 2D Sonic, because Sonic 1 really was, they're finding their footing still. So there's some really Green Hill Zone is a ton of fun, but after that the game kind of sucks. Especially Labyrinth Zone and the end of the game is just kind of rough there. And like Sonic 2, as fun as that is too, and some of those stages are a ton of fun, that stage has some pretty unforgiving and just kind of cheap level design at the end of the game. We get to Metropolis Zone and all that. So and then CD, it's fun, but CD is such a maze to get through. So 3, I found that perfect mix of the super high speed that you got in Sonic 2 and the super mazy, platformy, puzzly elements of CD, and combined it to make, I think, what was the perfect one until Mania. And so being able to play that again is going to be a ton of fun for me. And then what about for you? I know that, like you already mentioned, you're not as much of a classic Sonic guy. You're more of the adventure and the more modern style. What for you, if you were to get this, if it is $20 or less, what is something that is going to stand out for you if you were to go out and buy this?
Well, it's a collection of games that I've never played before. Well, I mean, I guess I believe I've played 1 and 2 briefly, but I've only played enough to know that it wasn't really what I've been all that interested in. But I do think that if they do, I guess if the marketing is right, between now and release, and they are able to sell me on why I should get this, especially if it is going to be only $20, that's not too deep into my wallet, so it might be worth it for me. I've never played these really classic games. I did really like Mania, but also Mania, it felt very much like an exception. It was new at the time, so the hype train was there. That helped me a lot. There was a lot of different characters I could choose from. It itself was a new game, and so in a lot of ways, the design was. Even if the look was classic, the design was brand new. But these are older games, and so it is going to take a bit of convincing for me to want to get this. But if they do, it'll be really nice to be able to play some of the classic games that you really enjoyed growing up, and a lot of others, like a big part of that. I think the equivalent would be if they decided to release the Donkey Kong trilogy from the Super Nintendo. They did on Switch Online, but
if they hadn't done that, then like that,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't have as much of growing up. Like I played a little bit of Sonic 1, but more of my grow up was with Adventure 1 and 2, and that became a little bit later with Mega Collection. But yeah, definitely to play them again. I would recommend when you do play them to do release order. So do 1, 2 CD, 3 Knuckles, just because it'll be just because if they don't, I guess it depends on some of the enhancements they make too. But if because it's going to be one is kind of a chore to get through. Once Sonic 1, like if you look at it in a vacuum of just Sonic 1, it's great. But when you look at it with the rest of the classic games and the series as a whole, it definitely is knocked down a peg or two, just because like 2 took everything about 1 and made it better, and then 3 took everything about 2 and made it better. And so I think that 3 is going to be your closest to Mania in terms of the level design and the gameplay compared to the first 2 and CD. Or play 3 Knuckles first because you want to play the better one and then play the other ones. But if you want to end with a bang, play 3 Knuckles last.
Okay, yeah, and if I do decide to get this, I probably would go with the release order. It's what I did with the Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Even though Sunshine was the one I was most excited about, I didn't play it until I went through all of 64. So, especially with collections like this, that's usually the way I want to go. So I'll probably end up doing that if I do decide to drop the $20.
Yeah, is $20 probably your is $20 probably your limit as well in terms of like $20 or less for you?
Well, I don't even want to say that because at $20 isn't a guarantee I'll get it. If it was like $10, that'd be a lot more likely. I know they will never sell it for just $10, but it's just I don't think it's for me, and so my mind is open enough to be swayed. But at this very moment, if it was available for $20, I wouldn't be getting it. But who knows? Between now and then, maybe I'll be getting it. Maybe I'll want it. So
awesome.
Okay, so moving on to the last big portion of this presentation, the Sonic 22 game. I don't know that there's a lot that we can talk about other than speculation about it. Because this was, and I'm looking at, how you described it as a tease of a tease. And I think that is the perfect way to describe it. Because,
yeah, seriously. Cool. It looks pretty, but what am I looking at besides Sonic running?
Yeah, because, a teaser would be, getting the gist, getting a look at what's going to happen with the world, But this, like I said, they might as well, I said it earlier, they might as well have just said, hey, we're making a new Sonic game, and that would have been just as much information that we have now. and like it's like, you know, that's not something that's surprising. If Nintendo were to say, hey, we're making a new F-Zero game, that's all you would need to say. But like, since Sonic is Sega's biggest character, the fact that they're saying, "Hey, we're making a new Sonic game. It's coming out next year." It's like, yeah, we know that, you know, like. So, what are your thoughts on this part of the presentation?
Yeah, like we mentioned it already earlier too. It was kind of a letdown. I was excited. Because I had texted beforehand of like I gave some predictions of what I thought this presentation was going to have, and I had everything right except for I said they would also going to have some sort of update on the movie. But I was like, yeah, they're gonna announce the colors thing that leaked. They're gonna announce a collection of the classics. We're gonna find out about some merchandise and maybe a little about the cartoon. And I was like, and then they're gonna tease the next mainline Sonic Team game. And like, I thought that we were gonna get more because I'm even like I mentioned the Forces teaser. While we didn't know about the character customization and a ton about the story, the teaser gave us enough to know what was coming. And I'm thinking about the Unleashed teaser was the same thing too. You had like Sonic like whistling, flicking a ring back and forth, and then he flicks it up, and then you hear him turn into the werehog, and you see a werehog hand smash it down into the ground. So it's like, oh, what is this? Like, that one gave you more. Like, that still didn't give you a ton of information, but it teased the main gimmick. And unless him doing that boost thing is the main gimmick, which we've already had boost games for 13 years now,
Right.
or something like that. Like, okay, what else are we getting? Like, so, if they would have showed just slightly more, they didn't have to show gameplay. They could have just expanded on that trailer slightly more to give us something. I would have been a lot more happy with it because, we've gotten a little bit more now thanks to some leaks about what it could be, and that definitely has me interested if these leaks are true. But in terms of official stuff we know, I'm just like, what am I looking at?
Right. So tell me then what because we know so little, it's kind of like a blank canvas at this point. What is it that you want to see from this game?
Something that is not Forces. It's hard because it's like I think the boost formula is with good enough level design. I think the boost formula is what works for a modern Sonic style. Because if you go and it's because like Sonic did have trouble finding his footing once they kind of shied away from the adventure games of how they're going to portray Sonic, and the boost formula they've really kind of found a nice niche with it, but the level design was just so bad and boring in Forces that I just really hope that we have some things that are different, whether it's a new gameplay style or that is a whole new mechanics like what we've seen with these leaks for it. But the biggest things I want something that's different and something that like actually feels like it's been in development for a while, because Forces came out 4 years after Lost World, and it felt like it had been in development for like not even a year, where Lost World felt like as much as Lost World missed the mark, Lost World did feel like they had taken some time to try to reinvent the wheel. They just didn't do it well enough, I don't think. So I just want something that feels like Sonic, but is a little bit different.
For me, what I really want is I don't think that lately they've been utilizing the colorful cast of characters that they have in the past like decade or even slightly longer. I think that the best that they did with that was in Team Sonic Racing. Don't get me wrong, I think Sonic is an amazing character, but I think the Sonic series benefits greatly by utilizing all of its cast. You know, I want to see, and not just Tails and Knuckles, I want to see more of Shadow, more of Amy, more of Rouge, Omega, Team Chaotix. I want to see even Eggman. You know, I would love to see Sonic and Eggman team up at the beginning of a game rather than at the end of a game because something fell out of Eggman's hands again.
Yeah.
You know, like I would love to see, if this is some big open world game, I would love for the big bad to take over. You know, for example, and this is just coming, you know, out of my mouth just now, but like maybe the beginning starts the game similar to how Mario Odyssey started, where he's already face to face with Bowser, but Sonic is face to face with Eggman. Eggman has some big powerful thing, and what's usually the end of a game, this is now the beginning, where the big powerful thing that he has is going to take Eggman, and Eggman then has to come up to Sonic and be like, hey bud, let's work things out. And now Eggman is a friend, sort of. And maybe he is, you know, working alongside Sonic and their team. You know, Tails, Shadow, Knuckles, Rouge, Chaotix, everybody's there. And they can all help. And you know, like 4 or 5 different playable characters as well. That would be really nice. Like that's what I would really want, is just a variety of characters that are at least in the game, but even better would be that some of them are playable or have an actual impact on the story, because I love the character of Sonic, at least compared to the character of Mario, but like the other characters need to have some kind of input, like impact.
Yeah.
In the
Well,
world,
it's
you know?
Sega overreacted when, because, you know, after '06 was received so poorly because of how bad it was, you know, Sega went, oh, like they did the things that some people wanted, but they're like, oh, people want, you know, a Sonic game or just about Sonic, and like, yeah, that's why like it took a long time for us to even like Knuckles wasn't like prevalent to a main story game again until Forces. You know, like he's in Generations, but it's mainly Sonic and Tails, and then Classic Tails and Classic Sonic, and then in Lost World, it's just Sonic and Tails.
Yeah.
In the DS version of Colors, the other characters show up, but like outside until Forces, all of the Sonic characters that aren't Sonic, Tails, and Amy basically are non-existent in the mainline games, and it's really frustrating. Yeah, because, you know, do we need to have every single character ever back? No, but yeah, having the established, well-liked characters that people enjoy, Shadow, Amy, the Chaotix back. Hell, you know, Big is such a meme at this point. Just throw him in too. As long as we don't have to fish as him, I think people will be fine that he's in the game. But like, just, yeah, there's so many good characters in this game, and so many of them are like decently well fleshed out enough that it'd be nice to have them back, and especially if they're more like how they were in the games like Adventure or Heroes, or, you know, to an extent '06, because the series has just been making every character so one-dimensional. Like, oh, Shadow is edgy for the sake of edgy, and you know, and Sonic is hero for the sake of hero. Like Tails and Amy both have like had so much growth in the adventure titles, and in how Amy is in some of the other forms of media, and like the comics. And then in the games, Amy is just like, oh, here I am. Like she went from like girl to like becoming independent in and part of the team in the Adventure and Heroes games, to back to girl. And so like it'd be nice to have these characters return to form, and also return to some of the things that the series had already done to flesh them out a little better. But yeah, it's, I don't know, but actually, we should talk about some of these leaks that have come out. I don't know how much of them you've seen, but basically the game, Sega accidentally said that the game's called Sonic Rangers after a leak a few months ago said that as well, because they put out a press release and it mentioned Sonic Rangers, and then they quickly sent out a different one that said, you know, a new title or something like that.
Huh.
But per a couple different 4chan posts, so take that with a grain of salt because it's 4chan. there's a couple of them. One that was posted back in January that said, did a focus test on a new Sonic game called Sonic Rangers. It's an open world adventure game which takes heavy inspiration from Breath of the Wild. Did 2 demos, a 20-minute long exploration of the open world and a final boss battle. So they said the open world is populated with small enemies, puzzles, platforming challenges, complete challenges, puzzles, enemies, rewards, XP that you can redeem for a skill tree. Skill tree unlocks things like the spin cycle where you hold Y and Sonic starts tracing a line behind him. If you finish the circle, it attacks all enemies inside the circle. Lock on, homing attack returns. There's bosses throughout the open world, and defeat them gives you orbs. If you get enough orbs, you can go through a portal to go to cyberspace. They said that they're generation style levels, and the music goes hard. Beating them fast enough grants Chaos Emeralds. The exploration, the combat for the person is super boring and very button mashy. New voice acting by Roger was present. They feel like they're sticking to a general theme at least. But they mentioned that the boss was kind of easy and kind of sucked. And then a similar post came out a couple days right around the same time at the beginning of the stream that had the screenshot from the trailer that saying a lot of the same things. That the battling kind of sucks, but yeah, it's an open world game type of thing. So from what it seems like per 4chan, so again, take that with a grain of salt because it is 4chan. It looks like we're actually going to be getting something drastically different from the Sonic series, and in very Sega fashion, they are cashing in on another popular thing that a different successful game is doing, and trying to make it on their own. So I'm intrigued, but if they don't do much to help with this like exploration thing to kind of flesh it out, then this could be another kind of disappointing Sonic game.
Yeah, it is hard because it's like you said, it's hard for me to know if this is an actual leak or not. I do hope that it is more open world. A lot of people use Breath of the Wild as an example because everybody is cashing in on Breath of the Wild right now. And so I don't necessarily anticipate Sega being any different with Sonic. So if that is kind of what they're going for, is to be more open world, that would be a lot of fun with the speed that Sonic has. But I don't know. I definitely, if this is the case, it's almost perfect for a story-based adventure. And if that is the case, then that means that there's got to be some character growth, hopefully a variety of characters. But it's too early to see. All of it is speculation, which is fun but also frustrating because yeah, that this could be just another Forces, or it could be Sega's version of Breath of the Wild. So it's too soon to tell. I am cautiously optimistic. I do think that there's a good chance that this could be something big, but a lot of people I think also thought that Forces was going to be great. So we'll see, I guess. Tune in next year when it comes out.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, there's I think if they can flesh it out, with the exploration, and if they can write a strong enough story that like doesn't feel like they're trying to juggle too many ideas, because that's another thing that hurts Forces, is that Forces is half trying to be the same lighthearted games like Lost World and Colors and Generations were, and half the more serious games like Adventure, Unleashed 06, and it just kind of clash. Like obviously a blue anthropomorphic hedgehog doesn't fully fit serious storyline, but like it was still like the storyline didn't feel like they were trying to do too much of a mix of things. So like where Forces just kind of felt like they were trying to be dark for the sake of being dark and stuff like that. So hopefully we see a story mode that is a little more fleshed out, and I think the open world can work if the actual open world feels interesting and worth exploring. Because what it seems like is from both of these 4chan posts, the boost style gameplay levels, like the portals, are a ton of fun, and the music is back to Sonic quality, being top tier, like awesome. But like, what will that what will the rest of the game look like? Because if again, if it's going to be like a game like Unleashed where only half the game or a chunk of the game is well liked, what's that going to do for the game's reception and the game's legacy as a whole? Where if more of the game's enjoyable, then this could be, a revitalization for the series for like the fourth time, but it could be.
So tell me then, as a final thoughts about Sonic 22, what do you have to say? What are your overall thoughts about it, and what do you hope happens with it?
I kind of wish Sega would have either given us more now or waited to announce it. They could have just had Azuka say, I don't have any information to share on the next game developed by Sonic Team outside of the fact that we're working on it right now and aiming for a release in 2022 on PlayStation 5 and PS4. Like they could have just said, we're aiming at releasing the next Sonic game next year on these systems, and we'll have more information for you down the line. That would have been a lot better, or if they would have given us more in that trailer. If this is supposed to be an open world game, if they would have had him do that weird little spin cycle thing and then went up and you saw the Breath of the Wild shot of the open world, that would have given us so much more to go off of. Right. But just giving us this thing of him doing this little spin, this little boost, what is in that trailer without any 4chan leaks? What's in that trailer that is new from any other Sonic game before besides the visual surrounding his boost? Either show us more or just tell us. The showing next to nothing was a waste of time, I feel like, because now we're gonna spend the next year and a half or so just wondering what this is until we get more concrete information, and we have nothing to go off of outside of alleged 4chan leaks.
I do want to add before we move on that I forgot to mention this, but I was getting some vibes of technology. It was the pixels that were by his feet as he was kicking, as he was running, and as he was kicking up, there were these little purple, pinkish little pixels that looked tech-based. And so I do wonder if maybe there's something in his shoes, or maybe something that he's carrying, or some sort of game-specific special ability that's technology-based, or maybe the entire game around Sonic is technology-based. But I do wonder if that's going to be something that we'll see when more information is released. Is that maybe this is him going through some sort of computerized world, or
cyberspace.
Yeah. Maybe that's something that, that maybe that's the next step for Sonic is surfing the internet. I don't know.
It makes sense too, yeah, because I pulled it back up too, and if you, the people made the joke, it's this is a continuation of Forces because the Phantom Ruby had a similar pixely effect with the red and the black. Okay. But if you look at it, after he makes the little dash thing that then turns into this weird logo tease,
you mean Zap?
Zavik. When it shows the 2022,
there was that weird symbol that he is running through, and it spells it. It looks like it spells ZAP for some reason.
Yeah, ZAP or Zao, or people made a joke that it can almost, if it had a little bit more, it spells Zavik. And so, because Zavik is back again.
People hate Zavik. I think that, and I didn't play much of Lost World, but I love him from Team Sonic Racing. So,
he's just a very generic he's just the generic brute bad guy.
That's fair.
He's them trying so hard at a Bowser without the fact that he's been around forever. It's hey, look, it's our Bowser.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
after popular, he'd be pretty boring too. But
yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
But after he makes the little Zap logo, it's a very digitalized 2022, and then the pixels fizzle out type of thing. So it could, this I feel again 4chan leaks, so who knows? But with the 4chan leaks we're seeing, I think that there's some truth to this, and it's some sort of digital based thing and all that. But again, if they would have just shown us a little more, they're just not enough without relying on people from the asshole of the internet, aka 4chan, to know what is going on. So I would have liked either nothing or more. What we got is just a little bit disappointing. And then the other disappointing one was how they mentioned that it's the same team behind Generations and Forces, which means I'm not getting my hopes up until I see a lot more gameplay, because Forces is doo-doo.
Yeah, but then Generations was good, so it's like, is it going to be another Generations or is it going to be another Forces, you know? Yeah, okay, so then overall, wrapping up the discussion on the entire Sonic Central 30th anniversary presentation, what are your thoughts? And we give it a rating too.
Yeah, so I think it was well. It was a solid first outing for Sonic and for Sega. Like, even if they would have got a little more footage for 2022 Sonic, like, I'd still be like, oh, I wish the game was here now, like, type of thing. Like, no matter what, I still would have been like bummed that we would have gotten almost no information. So, like, I would have been pleased, I guess, anyways. But I think what we got was good, for the most part. Like, even if everything was expected, like, even we didn't touch on it, but even the some of the crossovers and some of the other Sega titles, like being able to be the Sonic costume in the Olympics game and being able to play Sonic the Fighters in Lost Judgment, like, that's nice. That's fun. It's fun, just like all the Mario crossovers on Splatoon and on Animal Crossing. Like, that was a fun thing. All the I'm not gonna go buy the Sonic chain, but like, it was a solid little celebration for Sonic, and the way that they were wording it, they're trying to say this is not the last one. So I said it at the start too. I think this can be a good thing for the series, just because there's so much going on with it, that they can do it for the Sonic brand as a whole, and talk about the games, the comics, the TV show, whatever comes after Sonic 2. So, like, I think this is a good one. I'd give this first one a solid 7 out of 10. Like, yeah, there's things that could have been fleshed out a little better or here or there, but for a first one, I think it was solid.
Okay. And I think I'm also going to go with a 7. No, I think I'm going to go more of a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 zaps. I just, for me, I think that it was definitely, there was nothing, I've definitely seen a lot of worse Nintendo Directs. And so comparing it to that, I think that it is slightly above average. I would have liked to see more, but like you said and like they said, this is the first of many to come for Sonic Central. I believe even regarding the 30th anniversary, there's going to be more. So hopefully we'll get more details in the future, maybe in 3 or 4 months or so. That would be nice. I would have loved to see more about Sonic 22, but I guess we're going to have to wait for that. Probably until earliest is early next year. We probably won't get any information on it. But I am super excited for Sonic Colors Ultimate. I know that the Sonic Collections is going to be a really big deal for some people who aren't me. So that's also, a little bit better in my eyes as well. But for right now, for me personally, Sonic Colors Ultimate is really the only thing that's on my radar for what I'm excited about.
Yeah, that's fair. But I mean, I know that Sega is going to have something at Summer Games Fest, and maybe something at E3 as well. I'm hoping. I'm still having just some hope out that Sega will go and I'll be like, oh, JK, Sonic Origins isn't the only compilation we're putting out, and they drop like the adventure games or someone else on current hardware. Like, that'd be a fun thing, because some of the Summer Games Fest that Sega's doing is going on right around my birthday and Sonic's birthday. So it'd be nice if they did something right around there and said, hey, let's shadow drop Sonic Adventure 1, 2, and Heroes on the Switch, PS4, and the Xbox One, that you can go buy right now, and they're just HD upreses. Like, it's going to be like this. It's it could be the same Adventure 2 port from 2012, just with a new coat of paint, and like I would still buy that again for like the 5th time. But like it'd be nice to have those as well. But I don't know if we'll get another announcement from Sega in less than a month after the first big one. But yeah, I'm excited to see what does come from this later this year and the future as a whole. Because like I said a few minutes ago, this can just be really good for the series, like what Pokemon does. And I think this could be something that Sega and Sonic Team can use for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I am excited about this, and this is going to be a great. This is a great first step towards the rest of the Sonic or Sega's life, really. So yeah, I think this is good. Solid place to start. I would have loved to see something better, but we got what we got, and it's good. What we got was decent. So yeah, let's move on. Unless there's anything else you had to say about it.
I think we're good. I think we can move on into sponsors and wrapping up the episode.
I know it comes to a big surprise to all of you, but this podcast is sponsored by Anchor, the easiest way to make a podcast. So visit anchor.fm to start your own. And also, Luke, gotta ask you, you know what I hate?
Johnny, what do you hate?
I hate walking into a room where I can't see anything. I work late nights. Sometimes I come home and it's dark. And
you need night vision goggles.
Yeah, I think I need to invest in some night vision goggles. In the meantime, while I'm saving up money to do that, I think it would be in my best interest to go to buylightfixtures.com.
Whoa.
This podcast is also sponsored by buylightfixtures.com. Visit buylightfixtures.com for a trusted source of quality lighting products for your business or home. So Luke, if you ever have a late night and you're like, oh my gosh, what is a light bulb? Where are the light fixtures? Well, you know what? You can go to this site and all of your dreams will be made. They will give you lighting products. They will possibly also thank you for purchasing, and they will have a smile maybe when they do it. I can at least guarantee one of those 3 things.
Ooh, so I like guarantees.
Go to buylightfixtures.com and you will be helping us and you will be helping them.
Awesome. I will have to do that.
Another big shout out and thank you to our friend Tom Taylor for Tailored Beats for the intro and outro of this podcast. That's Tailored Beats, tailored with Taylored. Follow him on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/tailoredbeats. Again, that's Tailored, Taylored Productions. And last thing before we close our video is we just want to let you guys know that our plan is to be back at regularly scheduled weekly podcast episodes. Life is strange and life can be difficult, so sometimes that may not always pan out exactly how we hope. We are going to do our best, so if you are still listening after being with us for the first 57 episodes, we do hope that you will stick with us even further. Our plan is to continue on. We've got some big E3 content coming up. Next week is going to be predictions. The following week is going to be coverage on the E3 event. We are super excited for that. So many things to discuss. One last thing is this is actually going to be posting in June. So it is actually, for anybody who didn't know, May, though, is Mental Health Awareness Month. So for anybody out there who is struggling, please know that you're not alone. And we know all 3 of us, Connor, Luke, myself, we all want to reach out to anybody that has mental health struggles. And it is very important to anybody, really. And I just wanted anybody that's listening to remember to be safe, be kind, be happy, be yourself, and always reach out if that's something you need.
Yeah, this has definitely been a tough year on a lot of people, and for some, it's really impacted their mental health. And so don't be afraid to reach out to someone or different avenues you may have, whether it's a clinic or resources elsewhere, or just a friend. It definitely is something that we've seen a lot of we've seen a lot that's happened in this world in the past year as a result of what's happened with the pandemic. Some it's been better for others, and others it's been the worst years of their life. So be sure to check in on your friends, and if you are someone who may be struggling, don't be afraid to reach out to your friends or a professional. It's they're there for a reason.
Absolutely. Well, with that, take care. We will see you next time, and we just hope that you guys have a great week.
Bye-bye.